2009, Chuck was preparing to test his new ATV at a Gum Hill, West Virginia creek. His son was on the camera, ready to record as he drove up the stream. He'd been to this place many times before, but what he witnessed that day forever changed him, because as he climbed the stream, he saw something terrifying emerge from the dense forest. Now known as the Beast of Gum Hill, a 7-foot-tall Bigfoot monster walked across the stream, not paying attention to its surroundings. Chuck and his son were lost for words and could only marvel at what they'd seen. Two men drive through thick snow during a harsh Siberian winter night, but while it's common to see wildlife in these parts, they're not ready for what's coming their way. Things suddenly start feeling different when they see irregularities in the snow, almost like someone's walked through it. But before they can process it, something right before them diverts their attention. Out of nowhere, a bipedal beast resembling a small yeti jumps into the light and rushes through the snow. Even though these folks have trouble believing what they've seen, things become clear once they move forward and check the snow for tracks. Witness one of the most terrifying videos ever recorded on a camera as a strange gorilla-like creature emerges from the bushes in Mexico. This is as unsettling as it gets, because while it initially appears to be an animal, things change when the beast moves closer to the camera. It's not a face that resembles any animal. No, this is a nagual, a witch with a humanoid face who shapeshifts into animals and runs around at night, terrorizing local people. In 2021, a man from Costa Rica heard a commotion outside his house, with dogs seemingly barking at an intruder, but his curiosity turned into raw fear when he checked the security footage. This was no man, neither did it look like an animal. No one had seen a creature like this, crawling on its limbs almost like a spider. What was truly terrifying, though, was that this thing was even bigger than the dogs. Imagine marveling at the beautiful snow-covered mountains, only to have your reality shattered by a disturbing sight. That's exactly what happened to these folks who thought they were hallucinating. But make no mistake, this is as real as it gets. The tall trees on top of the mountains are moving, but not because of any wind. They look like they've come alive and are walking around. While this is creepy, there's also a potential theory behind this. These could be tree harvesters at work. Deep in the woods, a man hunts for a cryptid known for stalking visitors. But this creature doesn't show itself to anyone. It hides in the shadows and keeps its distance. There is a magical aura about this place, with zero civilization nearby. Moreover, the man follows the creature's tracks and gets closer to finding it. Little does he know, however, that he's not the one hunting, he's the hunted. The man notices something behind him, and right as he turns around, he sees it. A shadowy, alien-like creature stalking him from behind the trees, fully prepared to jump out and pounce on him. Picture this. You're camping in the woods and everything's peaceful, but you can't help but feel you're being watched. And no matter how much you try, you can't eliminate that unsettling feeling. Well, that's exactly what happened to this man.
Whoa.
He's paranoid and starts looking around the area to see if a predator's about to attack him. What he sees, however, is no mere beast, it's Bigfoot. But this one's different, because this big guy is white, unlike most legends.
Holy shit. He's like...
The creepy white face poking through the bushes just stays there, staring back at the man with its hollow black eyes. And while there's every possibility it could be a barn owl or even a weirdly shaped tree stump, people believe it's a white Bigfoot.
He's standing above the bushes. He, she, whatever. Look how tall that is. Yo, it's white.
This footage comes from a man returning from his morning run in the woods. As he crossed the bridge into an alley, something strange jumped on him from the wall. However, when he turned around to look at it, the thing was gone. The man knew he'd felt something jump on top of him, but since he didn't see anything, he decided to go back home and check the footage. Only when he slowed it down did he realize the thing he'd encountered did not resemble anything he'd ever seen. Was it just a monkey or a creature from another world? No one knows. Sometimes you have to fight the intruders, especially if they get too close to your home, because that's what this man did after he spotted a strange creature lurking in the distance.
I'm gonna keep walking towards it. Might actually get to capture it.
The man is brave, walking toward the creature in the dark. But as he inches closer, things start to get creepy because this is not an animal or human. This appears to be a pale crawler.
Son of a bitch. Alright, whatever you are.
With their humanoid bodies and large eyes that glow in the dark, crawlers are meant to be some of the most aggressive creatures. But this man knows what he's doing because he came to this encounter fully prepared.
No.
In May 2023, a man riding a bike with his wife in Muir Woods suddenly heard a strange fox-like scream. But there was an issue. No foxes were in the area, and the scream sounded much deeper than your typical fox. He looked around the area for a good while until he nailed down the location of the noise. However, when he zoomed in with his camera, he was not ready for what he was about to witness. Seeing a wild animal is one thing, but the man claims he saw a bipedal creature no less than 9 feet tall, resembling a Sasquatch. And when he moved up to explore the area, it smelled so bad that his wife threw up. In 2021, a couple from South Jersey heard strange noises from the woods outside their home at night. They went out to investigate multiple times, but didn't see anything. However, everything changed when they reviewed the footage they'd captured. They thought they were just paranoid, since it's common for wildlife to cause a stir and jump around in the bushes. But what they saw did not look like an animal. It was a Jersey devil. If that wasn't bad enough, they found even more unsettling evidence in the morning, huge footprints in their backyard. On April 17th, 2021, a man was strolling around a beach in Florida when he noticed a strange corpse had washed up on the shore. However, While he initially thought it was a fish or a seal, his thoughts changed when he approached it.
Look like underneath it too.
The creature had bizarre double flippers, but even weirder was that its upper body had an elongated humanoid skeleton, almost like a mermaid. The corpse had been on the beach for a while, so most of it had already decomposed. And even though people think it could be a manatee, a seal, or even a whale baleen, no one could figure out what the creature looked like while it was still alive.
It looks like feathers.
That's what it looks like.
National parks can be terrifying at night, as all sorts of animals can run around in the bushes, making you paranoid. But what this man saw in Australia was no mere animal.
We out here hearing weird noises in the forest.
He was walking along the trail in the dark with his friends when he heard a strange noise coming from a nearby tree. And when he turned to look, all his fears became reality as two glowing eyes glared right back at him.
In the forest. What the Oh! 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 What the What the
Some say it was a crawler, but your guess is as good as mine. In the woods, a man hears a woodpecker's warning call outside his cabin. But while he goes out to catch a glimpse of the bird and record it, he hears something much scarier.
What was that? I heard some shit there.
Out of nowhere, an extreme roar echoes through the woods, almost like a big monster screaming in agony. What's even more bizarre, however, is that the sound continues for several seconds. Of course, animals like mountain lions or foxes make weird sounds during mating season, but what sets this roar apart from the rest is that it's very deep and likely comes from a big creature, a Bigfoot. At the Prairie Spirit Trail in southeast Kansas, a man goes for his usual night run through the woods, but halfway through, he senses that he's being watched, and when he turns his flashlight toward the tree, it all unravels. Sometimes, when you look at the darkness, it looks back at you, and that's exactly what happens to this man, who sees several creepy glowing eyes staring right back at him through the branches. Are these deer, or something else entirely? In 2018, a woman in North Carolina kept hearing strange noises at night outside her house, and when she walked out, everything in her yard was trashed. But after the same thing happened 3 nights in a row, she decided to take matters into her own hands.
I gotta this out. What the
Her dog was barking, and the neighbors had come outside to see the commotion. However, when she got down, the thing destroying her yard was nowhere to be seen. Well, at least that's what she thought anyway.
Thought I heard those noises again.
I heard him last night.
They looked around the area for a few minutes and returned to their homes later after not finding anything. But upon rewatching the footage and slowing it down, they discovered something terrifying. In 2016, people at a South American gas station were going about their business early in the morning when they noticed something strange floating in the air, slowly approaching their location. The paranormal object was near the ground, levitating like an extraterrestrial being. Of course, the gas station workers wouldn't sit back and watch it sizzle by, so they decided to investigate. Mustering up the courage to approach a paranormal object was already hard enough, But the gas station workers were not prepared for what it was about to do when they approached it, because as soon as they got close, it flew up.
Ahí es donde vuela. Ay. Se puede ver clarita sus patitas.
If you think you've seen scary, then you're wrong, because this right here is arguably one of the creepiest things ever recorded on camera. Imagine hearing the strangest sound you've ever heard outside your window, and when you look outside, it's a humanoid monster flying over your car and slowly inching towards you. It's something straight out of a horror movie, but the thing levitating and making strange sounds isn't even the scariest part, because the way it looks back after it spots the person recording is enough to send shivers down your spine. In August 2023, a man driving along a forest off Highway 20 in central Oregon was caught completely off guard by a shimmering light in the distance. When he stopped to look, however, he realized it wasn't just a light, but a creature.
Oh my god.
It first appeared to be a mountain lion, with its big pointy ears and glaring eyes, but there was a problem. The pointy things weren't ears at all, they looked like antlers. Not to mention, the beast appeared much bigger than a mountain lion. This footage comes from a man visiting Lake Champlain in Vermont. He was sitting in the park, eating his lunch, and enjoying the gorgeous view when he noticed something was not quite right about the lake. In the distance, he could see a dark spot in the lake that looked odd, almost like something was casting a shadow on it. However, this wasn't a shadow. Something massive was floating underneath the surface. The bizarre thing was that the dark spot wasn't even stationary. It kept moving around as if something was swimming under the surface. And guess what? People say he'd spotted the sea creature known as Champ, the Lake Champlain monster.
Wait. First school of fish, maybe?
The following footage comes from a trail cam set up in Queensland, Australia. At first glance, nothing interesting happens in this spot as a deer runs by. However, a much more disturbing reality reveals itself when you look closer. As the deer passes the trail cam, a strange silhouette starts moving in the footage's top right corner. As the seconds pass, it becomes clear that this creature has never been seen. The strange creature resembles a cow, but cows don't roam around in this part of the woods. What's even stranger is that the creature stalks a deer, which is uncharacteristic of any animal of this stature. In October 2023, a man in Fishkill, New York, heard a loud noise outside his house in the woods, but while he was ready to see animals causing a stir, he wasn't prepared for what he was about to witness.
What the f*** are these things that keep flying around? They're disappearing, they're coming.
Two pairs of glowing eyes were looking back at him in the dark. Of course, it's normal for wild animals to do that as well, but what set these creatures apart was that they were nestled high up in the trees, and their eyes were really wide.
This is like in the woods. There's been a few of them that's like they just fly into the woods and they fly back out.
The strange creatures keep hopping everywhere, almost like jumping between the trees or flying. However, the way they keep staring at the camera despite their movement is unnerving.
It's looking at me. Jesus Christ, that is a thing. That's a f***ing... I can hear it moving. It is super...
Blackbird is a state forest in Delaware, and it's one of the scariest places you could ever visit, not only because of the creepy things people find in it, but but also because you never know if you're being watched. The forest is home to some strange creatures, some of which are paranormal. This video is the perfect showcase because something ducks behind it as the camera pans to a woodbox in the open area. In 2008, friends were filming their boating trip to the Upper Mackenzie River in Oregon. However, they found something deeply disturbing in the footage they recorded during their trip. The video is extremely shaky and unstable, with the river flowing quickly. Yet, if you divert your attention to the left side of the screen, you'll notice a massive brown figure standing up in the bushes and walking away. The real terrifying thing is that there have been several Bigfoot sightings in that area. At a national park in Washington, tourists are busy walking around their forest cabin at night. What they don't realize, though, is that they're being watched, and their lives could potentially be in danger. Two glowing eyes menacingly look back at the camera in the darkness of the woods. And they're not something you'd see on an animal either. This is either a Sasquatch or worse, a dogman, one of the most terrifying cryptids. Saskatchewan, Canada, is home to some of the creepiest encounters ever recorded, and this one's no different. The person recording spots something strange in the wilderness outside their cabin. They keep shining a light on the area because they've seen a creature there, but they're not quite sure what they're looking at. The thing appeared humanoid. However, it wasn't a Sasquatch or anything dangerous like a skinwalker. This thing was in a whole different league.
Yeah.
There's a myth in several cultures regarding little people who live in the shadows and play with horses. And chances are this little creature is very similar, except it's willing to emerge into the light and reveal itself.
What is that?
In August 2024, Richard Rossi and Kelly Tabor went to Lake Champlain to shoot their film, Lucy and the Lake Monster. It was meant to be an adventure that followed a young girl on her quest to prove the existence of Champ, the Champlain Lake Monster. When they returned to the studio to review the footage they'd captured, however, they discovered something extraordinary in one of the drone shots. In the bottom right part of the video, they spotted a big creature swimming behind their boat, and they couldn't believe what they'd captured while shooting the film, because as it turns out, Champ was with them on their journey all along. In 2014, wildlife biologist Miles Lamont hiked to the top of Tricuni Peak in Canada. However, what caught his attention was not the breathtaking view, but something he spotted on the slope of the mountain.
And pretty sure there's just Sasquatch down there.
Oh my god.
I can't really see it very well. There's this little black dot walking.
Of course, no human would walk in the middle of a snow-covered mountain like that, and since the creature was bipedal, it wasn't an animal either. So, Miles concluded that he was seeing a Sasquatch in action.
For sure I did.
The most bizarre thing about what he saw wasn't that a creature like that was casually walking around at a 2,000-meter tall mountain, but the fact that it was effortlessly climbing the slope, almost as if it had superhuman strength.
Can't bring up snow lines. Like it's no big deal. I don't...
In 2020, a man was streaming live on social media, telling his viewers he'd seen a strange creature in his backyard, and he was convinced it was real, going as far as to promise video evidence of it. He thought he'd get up and show everyone where he first saw the creature, but as he went into his backyard to recall his strange experience, the creature decided to show up again. The creature he talked about went by quickly and took a lot of work to notice, but of course, it doesn't take much to slow down the footage and see things clearly, and well, that's exactly what people did. Was it an ostrich, cigarette smoke, or something else entirely? To this day, no one knows. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and peeking outside your cabin in the woods, only to witness an extremely disturbing sight. Well, that's exactly what happened to this man, who was not ready for what he was about to see outside his window.
The f is that? The fuck is that in the woods?
A red-eyed creature stalked the man, staring at him from behind the trees. And, since it had a dog-shaped head, there's every possibility it was a huge dogman or a Bigfoot, which is as creepy as it gets.
Hello? Hello?